So you're an international student heading to India. You're probably thinking about your classes, the culture, the amazing food, but there's one thing that almost always catches people completely off guard, and that's the weather. It can be a real shock. So today, we're going to build your essential survival guide. We'll get you ready for everything from absolutely searing heat to some surprisingly cold chills. Let's just dive right in. Just take a look at this number, 48 degrees Celsius. That's 118 Fahrenheit. And get this isn't some freak, once-in-a-lifetime heat wave. This can be a totally normal afternoon in Delhi during May or June. It's this intense, dry kind of heat that most of us just aren't used to. And it's only one piece of a much, much bigger climate puzzle. And that really gets to the heart of it. This isn't just about being a little too hot or a little too cold. For students coming in from more temperate climates, the difference can be a genuine shock to the system. But hey, don't worry. This whole guide is designed to help you completely bypass that shock so you can show up feeling ready, healthy, and focused on your studies. Okay, so here is the single most important thing you need to understand. There is no one Indian weather. You can really think of the country as having two completely distinct climate zones. Up in the north, you've got a continental climate with these wild, dramatic swings. We're talking scorching summers and genuinely cold winters. But then you go down south and it's tropical. The temperature doesn't really change all that much, but humidity, well, humidity is your new best friend. Or, your constant companion. Getting this north-south split is the absolute first step to being truly prepared. All right, let's start with the north, what I like to call the land of extremes. If you're going to be studying in cities like Delhi or really anywhere in Punjab or Rajasthan, you are signing up for a year of some seriously dramatic seasonal shifts. First step is summer. And listen, we're not just talking hot. We're talking a searing, dry heat. Starting around mid-April, the temperatures just consistently climb above 40 degrees Celsius. That's 104 Fahrenheit, and it's all under this relentless sun. A lot of the time, even the nights don't cool down enough to give you much of a break. So how do you actually deal with that? Well, lightweight, loose cotton clothes are going to be your absolute best friend. High SPF sunscreen isn't just a good idea, it's essential. Same with hydration. You have to be drinking water constantly, even when you don't feel thirsty. But the most important rule of all, you have to respect the sun. Try to avoid being out during that peak heat between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. And please, learn the signs of heat stroke, like getting dizzy or having a bad headache. Now, right after that intense heat, the monsoon arrives, and it brings this incredible sense of relief. But it's a trade-off. You're swapping that dry heat for extreme humidity, often hitting 80 to 90%. And this season, it brings its own set of challenges. We're talking heavy rains that can lead to sudden waterlogging on the streets, which means massive traffic jams and, pretty frequent power cuts. For the monsoon, you're going to need a whole different set of gear. A really sturdy umbrella and some waterproof shoes are key. Your regular sneakers will just get ruined. A waterproof bag for your laptop and phone, an absolute lifesaver. But honestly, beyond the gear, your health becomes the main focus. This is peak season for mosquito-borne diseases like dengue and malaria, so a strong repellent is a must. And this is critical. Only drink filtered or boiled water. And now for the biggest surprise, the one that catches almost everyone off guard. Northern winters are genuinely cold. I mean it. Especially in December and January, the nights can drop down to near freezing temperatures. And it's not just the cold. A really dense fog often just blankets the cities, causing huge disruptions to flights and trains. So please, whatever you do, do not underestimate the chill. Most buildings in India don't have central heating, so layering your clothes becomes absolutely essential. I'm talking thermals, sweaters, and a proper padded or puffer jacket. The air also gets incredibly dry, so trust me, moisturizer and lip balm are going to be your new best friends. Okay, let's completely switch gears and head south, where the climate is a whole different ballgame. If you're in states like Kerala, Tamil Nadu, or Karnataka, you are in the tropical zone. Here, the weather is way more consistent, and it's pretty much ruled by one single defining feature: humidity. Southern summers are hot, sure, but the real challenge is the oppressive humidity. The word sticky is just perfect for it. You feel it the moment you step outside. All that moisture in the air makes temperatures in the mid-30s Celsius feel much, much hotter than they actually are. To survive this, your wardrobe has got to be all about breathable fabrics. Cotton and linen are absolutely key. Air conditioning really isn't a luxury here. It's pretty much essential if you want to be comfortable and get a good night's sleep. And yep, just like in the north, you've got to stay hydrated all the time and load up on that sunscreen. And here's something really unique about the South. It actually gets hit by two different monsoons. First, the southwest monsoon hammers the West Coast from about June to September. And then, as if that weren't enough, the northeast monsoon comes in and brings another round of heavy rain to the East Coast from October to December.
So what does that mean for you? Well, you'll need the same kind of monsoon gear as in the north, but you might want to get sturdier versions of it. Humidity is at its absolute peak during these months, and that brings a very specific challenge: mold and fungus. It can grow incredibly fast on clothes, leather, even on the walls, so keeping your things and yourself dry becomes a top priority.
But after all that intensity, this southern winter is your reward. It is by far the most pleasant season you can imagine. With temperatures hovering between 20 and 30 degrees Celsius, it basically feels like a perfect summer day in a lot of Western countries. It's warm, it's comfortable, and it's just beautiful. And the best part? Preparing for this season is so easy. A light sweater or maybe a shawl is all you're going to need for those cooler evenings or early mornings. Seriously, this brilliant weather makes it the absolute best time to get out there and explore the region. Okay, so we've covered the two big regions. Now let's zoom in a little and get more specific. Let's take a quick look at what you can actually expect in some of India's major university cities. This little cheat sheet breaks it down perfectly. I mean, just look at the contrast. You've got Delhi over here, where you literally have to pack for everything from desert heat to a real winter chill. Then there's Bangalore, which people call the air-conditioned city because its climate is just so pleasant year-round. Compare that to Chennai, where humidity is pretty much the constant battle, or a place like Manipal, which gets these incredibly intense monsoon rains. Definitely use this as your quick reference guide. So, no matter where you end up, the extreme north or the humid south, there are some things that every single student is going to need. Let's just call it your all-India weather kit. Here are the 5 essentials, the non-negotiables. First, Health First, a basic medical kit with oral rehydration salts, or ORS, is a must. Second, a power bank. Power cuts will happen. It's essential. Third, water wisdom. I'm going to say it again. Never, ever drink tap water. Fourth, have a footwear strategy. You need different shoes for different seasons. And finally, number 5 is your mindset. You have to be flexible. The weather will mess up your plans, so learning to be patient and just go with the flow is absolutely key. You know, after all this talk about preparation and survival, it's easy to start seeing the weather as just an obstacle to overcome. But honestly, the best advice I can give you is to actually embrace it. It's not just something to survive. It's a really fundamental part of the whole Indian experience. And this is exactly why. The weather creates these unique, unforgettable moments. I'm telling you, there's a special kind of magic in sipping a hot cup of chai on a cold, foggy morning in Delhi, or feeling that first, cool monsoon rain on your skin after a long, brutal summer. These are the sensory experiences that are going to stick with you long after you leave. Look, by understanding the climate, packing smart, and just having a flexible mindset, you're not just preparing to survive the weather, you're preparing to fully and truly experience the country. So I guess the only question left is, are you ready for an unforgettable year?